Hey, I'm Randy Younger, New York City's go-to film enthusiast. Every week I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and it's a special episode of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. And with me, I have two of my favorite people on the show. It has been quite a while, but I'm glad you guys are back. We have Rachel Kolb and Eric Godfrey, my favorite power couple. Hey guys, how you doing?
Happy to be back.
Very
Really,
good, yeah.
really excited to talk about these movies today.
Yes, yes. So we have a lot to discuss tonight. We're going to be discussing the great Wes Anderson, specifically his new film now in theaters, The Phoenician Scheme. And this is just more of the same from Anderson. It has his signature style and visual techniques. A lot of stuff going on in this film. It follows Zsa Corda, who is a wealthy businessman played by Benicio del Toro, trying to reconcile with his estranged daughter, played by a really good Mia Threepleton, who I've never seen before, and just discovered that she is the daughter of Kate Winslet. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So
No,
the
did
apple
not
does not
know that.
fall
New
from the
Nepo
tree.
baby.
Yeah. And if you look closer, she does kind of resemble her. She's got her eyes, I think.
Yeah, definitely in the face structure. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
see it.
And she's wonderful in this. She's the perfect Anderson type of female lead, and her chemistry with Del Toro is fantastic. In the film, his character, Zsa Zsa Corda, basically tries to reconcile with the daughter, and at the same time is embarking on some new business enterprises, only to be met with some opposition and some gunfire and explosions. And it's like if not all of Anderson's films, this is a comedy. It's a quirky, dark comedy. And again, we have a lot thrown at us. We have, as always, another signature of Anderson's style. His go-to is a very wide range of actors here. He always has an ensemble. Bill Murray is usually included in that. I will not spoil Bill Murray's role in this movie. It's pretty great. But, we just some of the names: Michael Cera, Riz Ahmed, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, yada, yada, yada. Oh, F. Murray Abraham, Willem Dafoe. I mean, yeah, these are actors who gravitate towards Anderson's work. It's just it's like a badge of honor to work for this auteur, kind of like actors who used to and still do like to work for Woody Allen, but that's a very different filmmaker than Anderson. But it is very cool to see all these talented faces on screen. And, right off the bat, the first scene is great. It takes place on a plane, and there's a lot going on in that plane sequence. Again, not going to give that away, but I enjoyed the film. I don't think it was one of his best. I think it was pretty average. I think it's on par. It's pretty equal to his last film, which came out 2 years ago, Asteroid City, which I think was a little more fun, a little more out there, and I would place this movie right up there with that. But again, it's not as good as his earlier stuff. Like his last great film we were discussing right before we started recording, the Grand Budapest Hotel, was probably his last great film. But before we get into his previous works, I just want to hear from you guys, obviously. What did you think of The Phoenician Scheme? Rachel, take it away.
I am kind of at the point with Wes Anderson. I think he is an incredible like his production design is always gorgeous, always beautiful shots, always incredible sets, like just really interesting visually always, no matter what. I almost want to see what would happen if the tool that he has in his belt right now, which is being able to pull all of these A-list actors for these tiny parts, if that was taken out of his tool belt. Because I feel like part of the interest that the person has watching the movie is just seeing these actors on screen. He would have to rely more on a stronger script itself
Mhm.
than just the star power going on in it.
That's interesting. So you think that the ensemble cast is kind of a distraction from the story in a way?
I think it's gotten to the point that maybe it is.
Yeah.
And I think that the big ensembles worked really well in other movies for him. Like Life Aquatic is a great example. Of course, Royal Tenenbaums, like you have great examples of him using that large ensemble cast to great effect. But here, when you only have like Bryan Cranston in a scene for a really short amount of time and he only has a few lines, there's not really much there, I feel like, for those actors to dig into. So I kind of am left with the question, why did you why are they here?
Right. It's the movie is like most of his works in the last maybe 10 years or so, it's overloaded. And it really shouldn't be that way because this could have been a great film. I think if they slimmed down the cast a bit, yeah, and maybe even
Mhm.
had some more no names like Kate Winslet's daughter,
Yeah.
it might have been a stronger film, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I will say there are some really great performances here. As you mentioned, the actress who plays Liesel, she's fantastic. And I do think Benicio del Toro I mean, he's a fantastic actor. And I do think that he is like probably one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
I just think that it gets a little I think almost like his usual charms of the A-list cast and the big sprawling story are kind of a little bit of a detriment here.
Okay. Yeah, I get you. Um, and I want to talk about Del Toro, of course. I mean, he won an Oscar, I think, for Traffic, if I'm not
For
mistaken.
traffic, yeah. Mhm.
Such a great actor. I'm so glad he has a very commanding leading role here because
Yes, absolutely.
he definitely deserves it. Actually, another great performance of his, which we discussed it a few months back, was the Wolfman reboot from 2010, I think it was. He was actually pretty good in that, uh,
Yeah.
and he didn't even need makeup. But
And Sicario as well. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
Sicario.
just, yeah, absolutely fantastic.
it's great. I love him. I love it. And this movie is a perfect showcase for him because in The French Dispatch, he had a pretty minor role in that, and he had very limited dialogue, which was a shame because
Mhm.
he definitely has a lot of potential, and he shows that potential here in Phoenician Scheme.
I'm actually in more disagreement about that. I think one of the things that um, Anderson reminds me, it's the same way I feel about Mike Flanagan. I enjoy when a director and their actors have that chemistry between them. And Anderson, considering he has such a specific style and how his dialogue is and how his actors are and how everything is, I can see why he gravitates so much to the same actors because of how in sync they are. And what I appreciate is one of the things he does a good job of is constantly shuffling around where those actors stand on the stage. And so
Mhm.
while he's has a lot of people that he's worked with before, Hanks, Grants, and all them, it's the fact that the front runner is Benicio del Toro, and who while he had a major minor part in French Dispatch, finally gets to shine and show how well he vibes with Anderson's dialogue, with his direction, and he does an amazing job with being center stage here and then brings two people that he hasn't worked with, the Mary
Yeah,
and Michael
yeah.
Cera, people who have never been in a Wes Anderson, and they get to be the principal cast. And Michael Cera
Right.
steals this movie.
Right.
He is
Yes, I will
phenomenal.
say he was very funny in this.
Yeah.
He
And
gels, yeah, he gels so well with the vibe, the dialogue. He is so funny, and it's one of those ones where it's like, I'm glad Wes Anderson found you, and I hope to see what he can do with you more now.
I was I was I was very pleased with his performance. I thought he was one of the funnier
Mm.
actors in this. I've never really thought he was that great, aside from maybe Scott Pilgrim and Superbad. But this film was really perfect for him. He plays a Norwegian etymologist, I think it is,
Yeah.
slash tutor, and his accent is just very very funny, and his delivery, everything about his
Mhm.
mannerisms are great, and I think he was utilized very well. I think this might have been his first Anderson film,
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, yes.
and yeah,
Um,
he was very good.
and
Um,
I feel like he's also been kind of dipping his toe back into acting, like in the
mm,
past few years. I
yeah,
mean, of course, everyone remembers him as Alan in Barbie,
Oh, right.
But it feels like he had kind of taken a step away from acting. I think perhaps because he was getting typecast quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because of course his early roles in Juno and Superbad.
Right, right. That awkward teenager.
And of course Arrested Development as well.
Oh, of
So
course, of course.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a different side, a slightly different side to him with an accent. So that
But
was
Yes.
pretty good.
but yeah, I definitely think I fall on the more positive side of Phoenician Scheme
Okay.
than the both of you. I do think it has a lot to say about what we leave behind, and especially anchoring that to the notion of kind of a classic industrialist, the Ayn Randian hero of using the his wealth and his ability to deal with all the rich people of the world to build this mega structure and basically being what is it all for, and especially like with Jaja with his constant grapples with death and
Right.
then the notion of what he's leaving behind. And so I think it's a very dense film more than most Anderson ones. I think it's the one that what I was telling you that's worth the most revisiting. But it's
No.
one I'm more interested in going back to. So I really enjoyed
Yeah.
overall, especially I think in the ending was it was such a perfect ending.
Yeah.
That's why I think I gravitate more towards this than the two of you.
I mean, I really wish that Anderson kind of toned it down a bit because this is a very good story with great performances. And let's just leave it at that. We don't need all the extra spectacle. It's a great movie, but it's overloaded, like I mentioned earlier. And I mean, at this point, Wes Anderson he's pretty used to and I guess comfortable, uh,
Mhm.
overloading his films like that. So you go into a film of his and you know what you're expecting.
Yeah.
And this is just a signature Anderson film. I also wanted to just touch base on some of his earlier works, specifically my all-time favorite Anderson film from 1998, Rushmore. Rushmore is a wonderful dramedy starring Jason Schwartzman as a teenage rebel, Max Fisher, who basically falls in love with a teacher who works at his school. It's a prep school called Rushmore. And obviously, this woman, she's a teacher, she's a lot older. And, there's another great performance by Bill Murray, who
Hmm.
is also in love with her. So it's a great, like, love triangle between Schwartzman and Murray. And I forgot to just mention that Olivia Williams plays the teacher, Miss Cross.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this movie it's a very, very simple story, very simple plot, great performances. But this film is an earlier Anderson film, so you don't really have all the bells and whistles of his more recent stuff.
Hmm.
And I think that's a great thing for this movie. Like it tells a great story. It's got one of the best soundtracks of any, one of the best uh, soundtracks featuring songs with lyrics, I must say. A lot of
Hmm.
the songs in Rushmore are songs from the British invasion, and they just suit the film very, very well. Composer Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo fame, he actually scored the film, and it just has a great feel about it. And one of my all-time favorites. I also want to mention real quick that in 2016, the film was actually added to the National Film Registry by the
Yeah.
Library of Congress, making it quote unquote culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And
Mhm.
that's an honor that most films do not get. And this film certainly deserves that title. And I rewatched it the other night, and it holds up. It gets better with every viewing. This is one of my comfort movies, and if you're ever feeling down, just put on Rushmore. It's just a great film. Uh, Guys, take it away. Your thoughts on this classic?
Rushmore is a wild movie. I have actually not watched it since my first time seeing it in college as a film student. And it's grown so much for me in that time. It's so uncomfortable at moments. Like I kind of love that moments that I feel like now in his movies might be treated a little bit more precious. It's more willing to sit in the uncomfortableness of a lot of it. I also really love that he has continued the running gag of giving a spoiled child a crossbow, that something that goes all the way back to Rushmore is now popping up again in the Phoenician scheme. That was a really nice little callback. And of course, like the framing device at the end of, questioning who it is that's telling this story and the way that they're framing the ending and everything with the of course the theatrical aspect throughout the
Yes.
whole movie.
Right, because Max Fisher, oh, aside from all his other extracurricular activities, he is an accomplished screen playwright and director. In the film's finale, he wrote and starred in Heaven and Hell, the Vietnam epic. And yeah, I love how he has goggles and earplugs beneath each audience member's seats. So great. There's so many like little things in this movie that are brilliant, and I think that's only Wes Anderson can come up with that. I can't think of any
Yeah.
other director who has this flair and this he's just got a really great sensibility on for film. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Eric, thoughts on Rushmore?
It's interesting going back and revisiting because it's the thing of it's Wes Anderson not yet in the skin that he's most known for. Like you see the proto stuff, there's a lot of like little moments you're like, oh, okay, yep, 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 where you can kind of start seeing Wes Anderson
Mhm.
experimenting with what will be eventually his most known characteristics. But it's the fact that he uses a more traditional shooting style than he typically does. Like you still see everything kind of on a plane. His framing is still there, but it's just there. A lot of the theatricness is not there. It's much more natural because of the
Yeah.
way he's filming, the way the camera is. And if I remember right, because Owen Wilson co-wrote this with
Yes.
him.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he did.
did.
And so I think because of that, there's a lot more of a straightforward comedic element to it that usually is, where the dialogue is still strong, but it has a much more, like I said, it has much more setup and payoff to its jokes,
Mhm.
and I think that's kind of due to Wilson. But I do remember this because the reason I was recommended this when I watched it, and it's been a long time since I watched it, was because of the fact that this was part of it was like this and Lost in Translation
Yeah.
that kind of relaunched the whole Murray-sance of like Bill Murray like having that moment again. And yeah, he is it's easy to see why this movie did such a huge thing for
Mhm.
his career because
Oh
he
yeah,
is so funny and deadpan in it.
he is
Mhm.
brilliant. This is definitely his renaissance. You know,
Yeah.
this is not no longer wacky Ghostbuster
Yeah.
Groundhog Day Murray. This is like a darker, more complex, more subtle, just so many layers to Herman Bloom and
Yeah.
Mhm.
his
E-
character.
Even though, again, like it all, my favorite joke, the visual gag will always be when his kids get in the car with him. He's driving off, he just starts reaching past him. It's just,
Yeah.
it's
I
the
think
perfect explosiveness of his character.
Yeah, I
Yes.
also wanted to mention that it's so nice in Rushmore to see like so much heart with some of these characters. I feel like his biggest downside now is that a lot of his stories sometimes feel so kind of like almost inhuman, a little bit cold,
Yeah.
especially with the very dry delivery that everybody kind of has. Like
Which
there's a very Wes Anderson delivery to
it is kind of
Rushmore.
funny, which is again, I guess this is going back to the Phoenician scheme because I feel it's like buried underneath it all. Phoenician scheme has a ton of heart behind
Yes.
it, so it's
But
interesting.
Yeah.
but you see a character
Hmm.
like, of course, the father in Rushmore,
Hmm.
Yeah.
who's, has a very working class job, like, and a great job. Like he, has his barber shop and everything, but that his son feels the need to constantly lie about what his father does. And his father still just loves him unconditionally, and you can feel that like
Yeah.
affection from him.
There's a
It's
scene
just really wonderful.
there's a scene where he goes to see his dad at the barber shop, and he has a test that he failed miserably, and he's saying, "Oh, I got to get your signature." And the father, Seymour Cassell, who's brilliant in this and everything he does, he
Yeah.
turns what was it? It was like Anyway, he changes the
I think it
grade.
was like a senior, yeah.
Like it was like
I
a
think he changes like an F into a B or
Yeah.
something.
yeah, or I
Like,
think it was like a 68 or a 63. He turned into an 88 or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just he made it just a better grade, and he does that. He gives it to Max, and then he's looking at him, and he looks at him with this like lovingly like stern look, like you could do a lot better. Come on. But he does it in a very like warm, like fatherly way. That little moment, there was like no dialogue, and it was a great little moment in this film. I
Yeah.
also want to mention Seymour Cassel was Esteban in The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Bill
Mhm.
Murray's character, Steve Zissou's longtime friend, who gets eaten by the jaguar shark that Zissou wants to hunt down and kill for revenge. And just that's another great Murray performance. That's a leading role. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
um,
again, a little hilarious little moments in Rushmore
Yeah.
with the with Jacques Cousteau, and there's a little bit of
yes,
like, I think I see where Life Aquatic came from,
yes,
and
yes, a little bit.
Rushmore.
I'm also wondering if Brian Cox has been in any other Wes
Um,
Anderson movies because he was fantastic in
yeah.
Rushmore.
I can't
Well,
remember. I don't know if it was.
I don't know actually. Well, I know he was Dr. Guggenheim in Rushmore, obviously.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at. I want to just take this opportunity to go down Wes Anderson's entire filmography, but we're not going to review all his films. I just want to like
Yeah.
touch on it, if that's cool with you guys.
Yes,
Um,
yes, absolutely.
so, okay, 1996 was the feature-length version of his short film Bottle Rocket, which
Mhm.
was it's pretty good, for a first entry. It had Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson. You have a very good performance from James Caan as kind of this like unscrupulous businessman. I think he was like a mobster. Then we had Rushmore 2 years later. 3 years after that is one of his all-time greats, The Royal Tenenbaums.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
I think it was here where he started to utilize the ensemble cast idea.
Yeah.
And this movie is definitely loaded with that, but it doesn't take away from the story about a father who has lost touch, who's estranged from his family, and there's a little resentment there. This film is very good. It takes place in New York City, but it doesn't quite feel like New York City. It's like New York City in a multiverse in a way. It's very cool how he did that. So that's a wonderful film. Also, one of Gene Hackman's last great performances, I must say.
Yes.
Probably his
Yeah.
last great performance. Um, After that, we had The Life Aquatic, which I actually rewatched the other
Mhm.
night, and so great. The
Yes.
I think this is the one. Well, he did this with Royal Tenenbaums and even Rushmore. His attention to detail, like from all the set design, the costumes, the cinematography, everything about the production, you can tell that Anderson had his hand in pretty much every aspect of production, which I think is great, especially nowadays in filmmaking. It's really something special. So I'm glad he does that. Same techniques transferred over to the Darjeeling Limited, which I think we can all use a rewatch. It's been a
Mhm.
while. I think that's the first time he used Adrian Brody. So
Hmm.
he would use him in a few more of his films after that. Fantastic Mr. Fox came out two
Yep.
years after that.
Which is my personal favorite.
Oh, it is.
That's actually my personal favorite because it's him doing Roald Dahl. I
Yeah.
mean, like, how much better could you get?
Nice. The stop motion is fantastic. It's really
Yep.
and
Yeah, I would honestly love to see him do more stop motion. That would be amazing.
I know. Well, oh, and I've talked to a few people about Anderson, and a couple of them are younger. They say that Fantastic Mr. Fox is like their first film that they've ever seen,
Mm,
which is very appropriate because it is fairly family friendly from what I remember.
yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it's cute, it's charming, and yeah, it looks great. And again, ensemble cast. Moving right along to Moonrise Kingdom, which was actually very good. Basically, a romance between two teenagers in a New England coastal town. Very charming, very sweet.
Hmm.
And
As a kid who also grew up as a Boy Scout, it definitely Moonrise has a special place for me. I think it captured the Boy Scout life very well.
oh, does it? That's good to know.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been in the Boy Scouts, FYI. We didn't really have that in Queens, but it's cool. But yeah, really really cute story. Oh, and after that, 2 years later, we have the Grand Budapest Hotel,
Yep.
which is fantastic. I rewatched that the other night, and this movie,
Mhm.
Ray Fiennes is brilliant as are the rest of the cast, and also Tony Revolori, who I believe this was his first film,
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
and Anderson auditioned like hundreds, or maybe even thousands of young actors, and Tony won the role. And I'm glad he did because he was a perfect lobby boy. um, After that, Anderson took a little bit of a 4 year hiatus, it looks like, from 2014 to 2018, when he did Isle of Dogs, his second stop motion animated feature, which I rewatched this the other night as well. Awesome movie. I don't remember enjoying it as much as I did the second time around. This was just a really very strongly influenced by Japanese cinema. It's actually largely well, yeah. There's a bunch of like moments where there are Japanese dialogue and English subtitles, and that Japanese aesthetic is really appropriate here. It's a wonderful animated film, not quite as family friendly, I'd say, but still
Mhm.
Yeah.
entertaining. All right, so then after this, we had a movie that he did. Though he made this film before the pandemic, but it was released in 2021, and that is The French Dispatch. Uh, Now, this one I personally did not love. This is like he kind of overload. This is where he began to overload his films, and it really hurt the story. I think it was an anthology, but still, it just
Mhm.
didn't feel very cohesive in my
Mhm.
opinion. But it had some decent moments. I think this was first film with Benicio, so that was good. Did you
Was
guys?
this his first one with Jeffrey Wright as well? Because
Um,
Jeffrey Wright is absolutely fantastic in
yeah,
it.
I think it's
Yeah, his
possible.
segment I think was my favorite of
Okay,
French Dispatch.
Well, I
yeah,
think that's kind of the thing with French Dispatch being an anthology. There's going to be certain stories you gravitate more than the others. Like I really enjoyed the Benicio section with the artists,
okay.
and I think that's kind of why overall I did enjoy French Dispatch. But I can get that sense of where, if with how very different tonally the stories are,
Mhm.
it kind of can be hit or miss in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what lost me was the Timothy Chalamet segment.
The Revolutionary.
Similarly, yeah, I wasn't a
Yeah.
huge fan of that segment
Yeah.
either.
But the stuff with Benicio as the inmate who was basically painting I think her name is
Yes.
Leia Seydoux, the
Mhm.
French actress. That was a good scene.
Mhm.
Um I would have liked to have seen more stuff at the actual newspaper offices, but I think Bill Murray had a really good role as the editor.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think this was Jeffrey Wright's first appearance in an Anderson film. So,
Yeah.
okay, moving right along, Asteroid City, which I really enjoyed, takes place during the 50s, kind of like that, that nuclear era of duck and cover. And again, great cast. First time he uses Tom Hanks, which is good. Oh, happy belated birthday, Tom Hanks. Birthday was yesterday. All right. And after that,
And if
Anderson,
I remember right, Asteroid City was kind of was that one of the first time, like, because Schwartzman worked with him again on Darjeeling, I think, or
yes. And
so
he,
it was kind of Anderson and Schwartzman coming together again after Rushmore.
yeah, but in this one, I think he was painfully underused. I would have liked to see more stuff. He had like a romance with Scarlett Johansson's character, which was pretty good. And it's a lot of great actors in this movie. I love the setting. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. I think like Nevada, somewhere like that, and it fit the tone well. Also, Rupert Friend has a very good supporting role as a cowboy. in this, who is also in the Phoenician scheme as Excalibur, the government agent who wants to stop Zsa Zsa Gorda. Um, and after that, last year actually, Anderson did a is another anthology film series for Netflix called The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar and Three More. And this featured Benedict Cumberbatch, and it was okay. I was not impressed by this film. I don't know. Did you guys happen to catch this one?
Yeah, we watched it. I think the thing that I
It's been a
really,
minute, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think I really liked it is it's again, I think Cumberbatch is such a perfect addition to the Anderson ensemble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, proving himself with his very brief little role in
Yeah, he was
Phoenician Scheme.
yeah,
Right.
he was one of the ones with a small role that was better utilized in it.
Yeah.
I will admit that much. So
Yeah. It is nice to see him in that Wes Anderson universe. Uh, these
Mhm.
really
mhm.
great, talented actors, leading men, who are sometimes in supporting roles with Anderson films. So that's
Yeah.
actually something interesting to think about because these are leading men, and they're just I don't know if they're taking a pay cut here or they're just stepping down from the leading role status, which is it's interesting. And I think that serves the story well. The look.
Also, can we get a Willem Dafoe led Wes
Oh,
Anderson movie?
of course.
Can it happen?
Sure.
Putting it
First,
out in the
oh, that would be
universe.
incredible. So he had a small part in Life Aquatic. That was the beginning of his association with Anderson.
Mhm.
He has an even smaller role in Phoenician Scheme,
Mhm.
where he plays just a member of the court in heaven. I don't
Yep,
want to give too much away there, but he really has like barely any lines, and it's a shame because he really is one of the best working actors, I'd say. So,
agreed.
so we'll see what the future of Anderson's films holds. I mean, I hope we get more great stories, obviously. I just think he could scale back on the ensembles because it's a little too much, I think, and we get it. But he's still a great director, don't get me wrong. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, I look forward to his next film. So we are about out of time, unfortunately. But guys, any plugs, any projects, anything cooking? Rachel, I'm looking at you.
You can find me on Instagram at Second Act Bake Shop. You can find Dobby,
No,
our sweet dog, on Instagram at Dobby the House Doggo. And that's pretty much it for me. I'm over at Angel Food Bakery here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So stop by. I might be behind the counter. Might be making some treats.
sounds great. And as always, I wish I was there to sample said treats. I know you are a wonderful pastry chef, and I'll never forget those Cinnabons you brought to my Oscar party all those years.
Yes. Oh, those were so good. And
Sure.
actually, funny thing, you actually can get Angel Food treats. They do ship nationwide. So
Okay.
if you go to their website, you can order.
Sounds good. Very sweet. And as for me, you can check out Under the Radar on Slam Radio through SiriusXM channel 145 every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern. Also, the video version of this podcast will appear on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and that's every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And as always, feel free to subscribe to the Under the Radar YouTube channel and share the love. So, guys, I want to thank you so much. It's been too long, and I hope to have you on again real soon. That'd be amazing.
Would
And
love to, yeah.
yeah. So, guys, I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. We'll see you next time. Take care.